Ever had those random moments where you're just feeling stuck, annoyed, exhausted, confused and lost, where you just want a day or two or maybe three to just breathe, Feel the rain on your skin, not have anything to do, just relax, take a deep breath in and just chill. I want one of those days right now. So if you're with me, take a listen to this week's episode. Think of a word, a positive word, and it may just be a chronicle shared in this space. Let's make life more meaningful. Beautiful people of the world, welcome back to Chronicles with Stephie, the space on the internet where God helps me to create a meaningful life experience. How have we all been doing? Happy Thursday. June is just rolling along on its wheels. There's no stopping in sight. And I'm just like, wow, what is going on? So if that has been your moment too, or if you've been having moments like, wow, what has been going on? Let's get into today's podcast episode. If you think this is something that you'll enjoy, or if you just enjoy listening to my voice, welcome to Chronicles with Stephie, everyone. Let's head into the unknown. So this is very atypical of me. Actually, no, in recent episodes, except for the mini-series, I've just not have any structure. I just want to come on here and talk because sometimes I feel like I don't have anybody to talk to, which is far from the truth. I do have access to my peoples, but in real time, sometimes you're just in the moment. You're sitting by yourself, you look at corner, you hold a minute, and you just talk. For me, I usually just talk to God. Whether or not I get a direct answer same time, it eventually will come. And in the same breath, sometimes you just want to chat to somebody and you just wish they were right there with you so that they could answer same time. So I'm just chatting with y'all today, and hopefully you can continue. Well, I'm not going to say that nobody responds in my comments. That's not true, but there's not such a lively discussion that's continued from the podcast. I guess I do a very good job delivering. How boastful of me, Lord, humble me. But yeah, if you'd like, you can go ahead to continue this discussion in the comments, or any of my previous episodes or the ones to come. You can go ahead to have the discussion in the comments. But for real, how has everybody been doing? I have been grateful. I've been very grateful and thankful. This month I celebrated another year of being on this earth, and I'm absolutely grateful. I reflected on where I've come from and where I've been coming from, the journey up until this point, and it's just been eye-opening, to say the least. Even though I've been the one experiencing it, sometimes you're in the moment of things and it's passing you by and you don't get the opportunity to basically stop or even pause to cherish the actual moment that you're in. It's not up until you're reflecting, going down memory lane, looking back to see exactly where your journey started and how far you've come from. This podcast is celebrating 2 years this year, and I cannot begin to explain how proud I am of myself, because in recent times I've just felt like I've been starting and stopping things that I have committed myself to do, out of fear of not being consistent and not realizing that you just need to do in order to become consistent. So I'm absolutely proud of my platform. I think we do have a long way to go, but I'm proud that I have that, for want of a better word, that stick-to-itiveness, that I was able to remain consistent, resilient, many times I'm tired and I just don't want to. And yes, some days you just now go on chat, especially for me every Thursday, it's my reset day. So some days I just want to slouch and lounge in the bed. I don't want to utilize my voice on this platform, but then I'm reminded of my why, and the why is bigger than me. And let's get into that. We're living in a time of seriousness, way more serious than I can fathom, or I can even think to remember as a youth growing up until my age that I am now. I think it's way more serious now, and it's just it's like each day that God gives me the privilege of arising, I'm heading into an abyss. I do not know what each day is going to entail, which is fine, because the Bible tells you do not give any thought of tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. But it's scary in a sense, not being able to pinpoint or navigate, any plans that are within your control that you'll have, because you just don't know what you're going to wake up to. You don't know what's in store. You don't know what the good Lord has in store for you. And that's where trust and belief comes into play more than ever. Trusting and hoping as well that God will carry you through to your latter days of peace and love and joy and of calm and stillness, days that do not include war and strife and botheration and headache and suffering. But that's the life that we've been given, and it is but a privilege to suffer for Christ. It's but a privilege to suffer for the Lord, to do his bidding, because we see the world that we're living in today. It is my hope that we're seeing the world that we're living in today, and I think many persons are just asking, when will this stop? When will this end? When will there be the light at the end of the tunnel? And it's scary to know that each day, as again God wakes you, gives you the privilege of entering into a new day. You see the dawn approaching. You just don't know what is going to take place. I was questioned, I think about 3-4 days ago. Someone inquired of me, what do I think about so and so that's going on now? And I was like, wait, what? I was so taken aback. I was like, there's something else again? Because to be honest, there's always something. And I was just so flabbergasted. I was like, you must be joking. And I literally went to research it, because I was like, there ain't no way. This tragedy just struck, and then here we are with another tragedy. And it's like every day, each passing day, we're waking up into the unknown. We don't know if aliens are going to now finally invade. When I think of the movie or the series, but when I think of the movie Avengers, in the final test of it all, everybody's descending out of the sky, fighting, to shoot, and you're like, is that going to actually happen in real life? But then you're hit with it. It's just like, snap out of it. It's actually happening in real life. It's not a fairy tale. People are literally living in it, and I am grateful, but then I'm also worried. I'm worried for individuals who this has been their life, or it hasn't been their life, and then all of a sudden it has now become their life. How do we navigate that? And it's strange because the world doesn't come to a standstill. I guess, we're probably immune to it, but the world doesn't come to a standstill anymore when there's active war and genocide, there's active destruction, there's active corruption, whatever. Tragedy has become our norm. Is that something that's sad to say? Is that agreeable? Is that a fact? Tragedy has become our norm. We are so accustomed to things going awry that we don't know what peace and love looks like. We don't know what stillness and joy looks like. Is it just me, or does anybody have that sort of that concern or thought process in their head to say, wait, Stephie's right? It's just a constant, every single day you wake up going and going and going, and you're just wondering, like, what's going on, what's happening. It's tragedy after tragedy, one right after the other, and it's scary is all I have to say. So I'm here, trying to enjoy the semblance of life that I've been given, the privilege of, Jesus dying on the cross for my sins. But I don't know if I'm waking up to tomorrow. I don't know what life is going to look like tomorrow. I don't know what conversations I'll be having. I don't know what thought processes I'll be having. You just don't know, because you just don't know what you're waking up to seeing. You don't know who is going to be in tomorrow with you. You don't know what food you're going to eat. There's a lot of uncertainties. There's a lot of unknown. And you can be spinning the wheel, just going about your day, enjoying your life, taking it one day at a time, step by step, doing all the correct things. And then boom, once again, tragedy strikes. You just don't know what is going to transpire in your life. And I think it's just incumbent for us to always have in the forefront of our minds to give God thanks, because our breath can end at any point in time. And what will your life mean if you've not left a legacy of, again, peace, love, doing the Lord's bidding, being kind one to another? Because in the end, every single thing that we're doing, unfortunately, it does matter. Whether we think it will or not, the good Lord is going to judge us, and we have to give an account of that on the final day. And what will your life have been where that question comes into play, that you've given an account of? In the midst of hardships and trials, how do we navigate the unknown? How do we put one foot in front of the other? The question is, the answer to that for me, I just don't know. I don't know, but what I try to do is I try to not allow time to rob me of my joy. and I try to not dwell too much on the past. The former things, I try not to dwell too much on it, especially the negative, because it will cripple you. It will hold you hostage, and you'll always feel that you need to be chasing the next high when you go down memory lane. And I think there's a reason why God tell you, or told, I think it was Lot's wife at the time, for not look back because you got turned into a pillar of salt and poor thing. There's truth behind that, and there is God's wisdom behind that in terms of looking back. It's always brilliant to look back to see, where you started, to know your history. But in my opinion, it should only be for so much and so long. Don't dwell, so much on the past, unless it is that you're trying to shape your future. Because you will, let me say me, I will replay things over and over in my head to the point where it becomes so daunting, so time consuming that you're overthinking this and that and whatever. And you can't change what has happened, but you can change what is happening. We don't know what is to come, God alone is in tomorrow, but we can change what is happening today. So I've decided to change what is happening today in my life, to have a better positive outlook and outcome, and to just appreciate things as they are. I was having a conversation with my friend today regarding something that is of importance to both of us, and I just kept on asking, what's the point? Why am I doing this? What gain is there? Because of all what is happening in the world that I'm living in today. I'm like, is this going to matter in 5 years? Is this going to matter in 5 months, 5 days, 5 minutes? The answer to that question for myself is yes. I want to do this. I chose to do this. I will be better off for myself with it. And I'm just enjoying the journey along the way. I'm enjoying the experience along the way, and I'm giving God thanks every step of the way. Because again, I may not see the 5 days, the 5 months, the 5 years. So it's giving of my best to this thing, this experience, this individual, this cause now, leaving that legacy. And then whatever is to transpire after that will just transpire. I may not be here, and live to see it out. But the fact of the matter is I am producing something. I'm a part of something. I'm engaged with something or someone that has value and meaning. Right? The unknown is the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen, but what is in my control, what I'm able to muster up the courage to do today, to be brave today, to be bold today, I'm going to do it. Because again, I don't know what tomorrow holds. I just think it's pretty cool, but it's imperative to trust in God. I was listening to that song today, I Trust in God. I think it's by Maverick City and Chris Brown. I'm not sure. Because that's all I have now. That's all the hope that I have in this world, is to just cast all my cares upon He who cares for me, lay all my burdens at Calvary, take nothing personally, give merit to what I have control over, and focus my focus and rebuke the devil, and just keep pushing and trucking forward. That's the message for today, because the unknown, once again, will be the unknown. And it's just to wake up with a grateful heart if the Lord gives you the privilege of seeing another one of His days. And at the end of that as well, to repent, because it might just be our last. That's the message for today. That's my rant. Yeah, I've just been having days of unknown. And if you've been having days of unknown where you just wanted an encouraging word, thank you for joining this space today and listening. Like I said, continue the discussion in the comments. You may not know who you're uplifting and who you're giving life to, who you're breathing the breath of sustenance into. So lead the charge with being kind, peaceful, joyful, letting go of things that are not within your control, giving merit to the experiences that feed your soul and feed your spirit and draw you closer to Christ. Because again, He's in the unknown, we are not. So let's lay our lives in His hands for Him to be the author and the finisher of our faith. Thank you so much for returning to this space. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If the Lord permits and allows, we'll see each other in another episode. So as per usual, peace and love and light, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye everyone.